My mom's been listening to you for about 10 years, and she introduced me to the tapes, which at first, it was off the charts for me, say, and now there's a belief that the non-physical being is seen so clear, but to make the transformation from that to the physical end is hard. How does that connect?
Well, it's tricky. Esther provides something very wonderful for all of you in that she provides an example of someone who is vibrationally open and therefore allowing broader perspective. She does a disservice in the sense that she is this physical being who has achieved a state of alignment, and sometimes you worry that you cannot achieve the same state of alignment. We would like you to see Esther as an example of that which everyone is and can do. In other words, you are all much more non-physical than you are physical. But it has to be a personal experience. Someone came to Esther during the segment of refreshment and was talking about having a hard time accepting Abraham as Abraham purports themselves to be. And Esther said, well, you should be where my husband sits, because he had no problem accepting Abraham because he knew me. In other words, Jerry never had trouble accepting what was happening with Abraham because he had been living with Esther all of those years, and now Esther is having this Abraham experience, which Jerry recognized right away as something very different from his Esther's experience. And so we do not think that you are reaching so much for validation as you are a way to physically quantify what is non-physical. And that's what your physical experience is all about. In other words, this is not a strange thing. This is a normal thing. We want to say to you that you are extensions of source energy. You've never been separate from source energy. Very often, physical friends will hear from recordings or coming to gatherings like this, they will hear what Abraham has to say. And at many levels of their being, they resonate with it and they feel through their own validation the harmony of what they are hearing. And then they will say, I want to teach this message to others, but others have a hard time with the non-physical part of it. So I'm just going to teach the processes. I'm just going to teach the heart of it, but I'm going to leave the Abraham Esther part out of it. And we say, if you leave out of it the physical, non-physical connection, then you leave out the guidance system part of it. And if you leave out the guidance system part of it, then you cannot give anyone the key to their personal empowerment. In other words, it is your knowledge of physical, non-physical that this is all about. In fact, we don't know anyone who can get on with having a really joyful life experience without getting into vibrational sync with who they really are.
I've been listening to you for years now, and it's been a precious, wonderful gift. And I've also seen how you've helped so many people, and it's been wonderful. But I think what you say makes so much sense on a personal level, on a global level, and on a political level, and on a societal level, and on a cultural level. I'm very confused because you yourself say, well, you know, you come in from the non-physical and you have all this energy and clarity, and then we could kind of get beaten down by society to kind of be dull and closed off. And then we're separated from that wonderful, precious knowledge. That's on the one hand. And on the other hand, for instance, right now we have a government that has taken us to war deceptively. And we all look at it, and we're torn between making our own lives wonderful and meaningful, and at the same time, even though we know that the news is dumb and that what's presented on TV is often the worst of things. Still, we have a societal structure, our government, that, to me is clearly unsatisfactory. It's not where I want it to be. How do we, as Abraham students/teachers, help?
Well, if you make it a personal journey, it's easier. And what we mean by that is, as we visit with you here, it's our promise to you that we can bring you to a place of feeling better and to a place of understanding the big picture. But it's not up to you to make anybody else come to that place. In other words, you're not going to elicit from us or from anyone an answer that's going to satisfy everybody. Because everybody doesn't want to be satisfied, and everybody isn't listening from the premise of understanding the overall well-being of things. So let's talk about what's happening, and let's exaggerate it just a little bit, and let's pretend that much more of the world right now is in disruption because of war than actually is the case. And then let's notice that both those that are personally affected by it, in other words, bombs are dropping in their villages, and those like you who are just laying awake in your bed across the ocean and are worried about it, let's feel the desire bursting forth from all of them. And for a moment, observe the rocket of desire that's shooting out of all of you. And then let's remember that when it is asked, it is always given. So then let's feel appreciation for whatever the contrasting experience has been that has caused clarification on your part about what you want about your government, or clarification about what you want for the lives of humanity in general. And let's talk about the clarification that the mother who's worried about her children is launching. Let's feel all of those rockets of desire. And now for a moment, focus and try to find that comfortable feeling place where you remind yourself, when it is asked, it is always given. And then let's relax for just a little bit and acknowledge that future experience will be benefited by the desires that are being rocketed out of so many of you right here and now. That's the first thing that we want to say about it. And it has always been thus. In other words, the benefits that you are living today in your highly evolved society are as a result of rockets of desires that have been shot out of this physical environment by previous generations, as well as by those that are being continually offered. So the evolution of all that is as a result of this kind of experience. Now, every consciousness, even if it is the one-celled amoeba in the ocean, every consciousness that's having an experience, and yours is certainly a sophisticated one where you are seeing what's happening and you are feeling powerful desire bubbling within you, but every point of consciousness, when that desire bubbles up out of you, every point of consciousness is answered. And so it's not possible that you could ask and be given, but the mother who is worried could ask and not be given. But where the confusion comes is that when you then condemn your government, instead of reaching for the thought that soothes you, then you don't ride the rocket of your own desire, and you don't see the benefit of your honing and of your giving birth to the rocket in your lifetime or even today. Where if you could find thoughts that allow you to feel better, then you could begin right now to see the evidence of the rockets that you are giving birth to. The thing that most people argue with us about, and we understand why they do it. They say, Abraham, it seems like you're teaching us to put our head in the sand, to just enjoy our happy life and not worry about what's going on with others. And we say, the reason that we encourage you ever to put your head in the sand is because if you're focusing upon things that make you feel terrible, then you're not helping them and you're not helping yourself. Where if you can withdraw your focus from the things that are bothering you and focus in a way that allows the energy to flow through you, now you can be a catalyst that can benefit yourself and benefit others. But then people worry. If I've got my head in the sand, then I'm not really being of any value. And we say, well, there is an alternative. You don't have to put your head in the sand. Pull your head out of the sand and look at your own desire. But don't ever ask to pull your head out of the sand and look right at what's wrong and expect to be of any value to anyone. You can't keep beating the drums of injustice, even if the world is full of injustice, and bring more justice to the world, you see. You can't keep beating the drum of what's wrong and be a vibrational match to what you believe is right. So, we have advantage of broader view. We don't worry about you because you have never been, nor will you ever be, without war. Because you have never been, nor will you ever be, without differences of opinion. And those differences of opinion are essential to expansion. And you knew that when you came forth. So now we want to address the part that stung the most when you said, we're pure positive energy, we come forth into this time-space reality, we feel pretty good for a little while, and then we start to develop a sort of film that clouds our ability to connect. And that's where it started feeling sort of suffocating. And we say, yes, but you could tell the rest of the story. And then we come to gatherings like this where we learn one layer at a time to reach for feelings of relief, to leave behind the resistance that we've picked up along our physical trail. And then you say, and rightly so, but Abraham, wouldn't it have been better if we hadn't picked up so much resistance along our physical trail? And we say, you had a guidance system within you that was showing you which way to go. And you say, yes, but I could not trust it because I did not know if it felt good. It was good. Because somebody outside of me said, if it feels good, it's probably wrong. You should subvert your feelings of good. You should do things that don't feel good. You should struggle and suffer. And you said, well, how will I know how well I'm doing? And they say, the reward will come in heaven after you're dead. And we say, that's where it gets off track. It gets off track when you give up the guidance that comes forth from within and try to replace it with anybody else, you see. And then generations, billions of people spend their time trying to get you to agree with them about their method when nobody needs to agree with anyone. You've just got to agree with yourself. You just have to be a match to your own desire. And the universe, the world, God, whatever you want to call it, will yield anything and everything to you that you could ever ask for. And we suggest that you all put that to a test as soon as possible. We encourage you to ask, and we encourage you to work yourself into vibrational alignment, and we encourage you to watch the results. And then, once you do that, then you can say, everyone has the same opportunity, and through the clarity of my example, I will teach it. You can... Your government is the byproduct of the vibration of the masses. A war is the byproduct of the vibration of the masses. In other words, this is not a war that your government has waged against your will. This is a war that has grown vibrationally from the vibration of the masses. So, we know it might feel satisfying to condemn the government or the terrorists. If you could figure out who terrorized who first, that's the problem. Where did the terror really begin? Your memory isn't long enough to find the beginning place of that, and your history book's not complete enough. In other words, it was injustice after injustice that was perceived. But there has never been an injustice anywhere in this physical time-space reality or anywhere else. Law of attraction does not promote injustice. Law of attraction amplifies the vibration that is with you. So, you're not ever going to teach them how to vibrate. Nor would you want to change them all to a place of vibrating just like you. Your work is not to fix them. They're not broken. Your work is to choose from among all of that what feels best to you and fixate on it as long as it gives you pleasure and joy. And in doing so, you will align with the energy of your source and you will live a magnificent experience. You just have to not let your joy depend upon what anybody else is living, because that'll get you every time. There are people waging war. There are people on the battlefield that are more alive than they've ever been before, you see. Don't try to protect people from life. Just let them have their experience while you focus upon your own experience.